it right quick, Jerome.
All right.
Peace and love to everybody.
Go ahead,
Welcome,
talk to the
welcome,
people. Tut. Talk to the people.
welcome,
Tut.
welcome to today's panel discussion, uh, where we will be divulging information to enlighten those who are curious enough to lend a ear. So you can't learn unless you open up that pathway to learning, which is look, listen, and observe. So we want to start out with gaining information, absorbing that information. You want to be able to take on that information by taking the proper steps. And so when you gain that information, then you have to apply it. Then once you apply it, you will fully understand then of how your thought can manifest into action, which will create a desired result.
King Tut. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's a three-headed monster coming to you. I know it's a Thursday. We're gonna try out this Thursday and see how Thursday goes. Um, it's a couple of events that happened today that kind of got our attentions, but we really want to talk about being open-minded and not letting certain barriers stop us from being who we need to be. And I feel like that's something that has happened in our community that has really, really. What the hell is that clicking sound? Who that?
That's me. Go ahead, keep talking.
So we just want to, drop some information, and hopefully this will be helpful. We trying to build, definitely trying to build, and that's what we're gonna do, man. So again, it's a three-headed monster. Check us out on Facebook. Well, you already watching us on Facebook, but also check us out on our YouTube page under the Three-Headed Monster podcast. If you want to see the icon of the three-headed Anubius, which is the three heads that you're looking at right now, we perform one body, one understanding, three different mindsets, three different thought patterns, but we all connected to the same body, and we all determined to build on what we do. Go ahead, Jerome. Do your thing, man.
All right. What's up, Facebook family? YouTube. If you're following us on YouTube, click the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave us a comment on the show. If you want to ask questions or anything you want to help build with us, please leave your comments. As always, everything that we talk about is strictly our opinions and our thoughts. Please don't believe anything that we tell you. Take the information that you get, go research it, come back, let's talk about it, let's build, let's go forward, let's continue the growth for everybody. Again, we're talking about being open-minded and what that constitutes to you, what it constitutes to all of us. What's up, B?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Brother Brian, aka Silverback, the majestic one. Yo, we just trying to do something, man. It's been a crazy weekend. All this snow we digging out, and I'm ready to build with my brothers, man. What's going on, Melissa? What's up, King Tut? Aroo.
Peace and love to everybody. Everybody joining in. We definitely appreciate your time. We want to send our greetings and our salutations. I'm King Tut, representing the South. I'm always bringing that fire, speaking that fire letters. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to create this hunger and within ourselves, to grow and learn, and oftentimes, we want to learn, and so and we want to share what we learn. So we're going to discuss today, being open-minded and also sharing that information that you do learn, because there is a consequence from opening your mouth.
What's up, B? Froze?
B took a back seat.
I told him about the internet, man.
Hey,
I think he's using his. I think he's using his neighbor's internet.
Hey, it looked like he was looking at the movie Color Purple. But hey, let's carry on. He'll be back to join us. The B had, he had a bad connection, but what we're gonna get on today is becoming open-minded. And so when one decides to, there we go.
B, y'all start clowning me, dude. I ain't on broadband. I don't know what happened, man. My internet went out, so I don't know what's going on. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Let's build, man. Let's build.
Let's build, man, because what we're doing now is we want to put emphasis on the hunger that one may have, or the curiosity that one may have, and want to learn more. Oftentimes, when you go searching for information, it can be limited. And so certain schools of thought hold certain and pertinent information. And so if you haven't been to those schools of thought, you might not want to talk about them, because you could be creating a world unbeknownst to you that could easily swoop you up. So you can't just go around talking bad about Walmart. If you just go around talking bad about Walmart has legal ramifications that they can have you locked up and persecuted for defamation of their organization. And so people have to be wary when you're being open-minded and you want to share information. People have trademarks and copyrights on information, and sharing that information and redistributing that can be a costly penalty if one is not aware. But carry on.
But this is a conversation I wanted to have. It's trying to be open-minded and not be limited to one way of thinking. And the reason why I say that, because as indigenous people, I want to make sure, which when I say indigenous, I mean black, Negro, colored, mulatto, whatever the hell you want, you black, whatever you want, but you have to understand that we are limited. We were limited. I could say we were limited, but we're not limited as we speak of now. It is something that you have to understand, that you got to be open minded to other things, because a lot of it's like a big puzzle. Different religions have different pieces of the puzzle. Different information has different this and different that. So, what I mean be open minded is, don't take something in, and that means you shut everything else out, because that's the dangerous part of being that makes you narrow minded. And like I said, school history, the history of the United States. If you don't understand the history of the United States, you go by what they taught you in school. That's an example of being narrow minded, because you have to read and study a lot more, especially when it comes to these amendments and understanding what happened before everything went down. So, we're going to jump into that. Talk to me, Jerome.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I didn't get to participate in today's events, but but what I know about open-mindedness is this: being open-minded is not just the ability to as Ted talks about a school of thought is to articulate, your points, but it's open-mindedness is the ability to allow other forms of thought to come into your mind, to expand, the recesses of your thoughts, to create new synaptic pathways the way you can see and understand things a little different. Life is all about perception. Tut would tell you all the time you have two ears and one mouth. So, with those two ears, you get sound from both sides. So that's your perception of how you learn and how you take information is very important. But yeah, we're gonna get into that open mindedness. I think it's gonna be a beautiful build tonight.
All right, and I definitely want to add on being open minded. First, one thing, people, everybody is individualized, meaning they have their own ways of learning. So you have to understand the various ways of learning. And so someone could be a visual learner, someone could be a hands-on learner, someone could be a reader. So people learn various ways. So if you are a visual learner, you may not learn some things or pick up on some things that someone who reads. If you're a hands-on person, you may not pick up on something too fast as someone who is a visual learner. So each learning style it has its advantages and its disadvantages. But the key is learning to incorporate them all. And being open-minded is learning to open yourself up to a different way of learning other than the one you are comfortable with. So if you're comfortable with being a visual learner, if you want to learn more, you're going to have to get a little uncomfortable and read something. If you're a visual learner, you're going to have to get a little uncomfortable and get hands-on, get your hands dirty a little bit. You know what
Uh-oh, he froze up, B.
Oh, so it's his turn now.
Yeah.
Talking about me. Talking about I got broadband. No, it's him. I mean, but at the same time, he is right. He's just gonna jump back in like the conversation never ended on him.
Right, right.
But I mean, it's not. You're gonna get very uncomfortable. You're gonna get very very uncomfortable when you get open minded and start studying things and start finding out the truth about a lot of different things. There we go. There you go. I know. So like Tut said, you will get dirty, but at the same time, you got to understand your inner man is trying to get connected to something. And the problem is when I say something, I mean I can tell you what it is, but at the same time, within yourself, you don't know what it is, and it's searching. So you searching within self, or you hear your something's talking to me. That is you talking to yourself. But at the same time, you got to understand we mind, body, and spirit. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, like when you get new information, right, and you're trying to process this new information, just because it's different from the foundational teaching that you may have had,
Uh-huh.
um, now you want to say everything is a lie. I've been taught a lie. This is a lie. That's a lie. So everything is a lie because you've learned this new information. But you got to understand there's a basis for where this information come from. You know, um, I think a lot of time when you're new to learning or you're new to your mind being old, when it first opens up, I think it's overwhelming, and it gives you this heightened sense that since you found out this one piece of information that you now that the world has been revealed to you, so so now you know more than the so-called experts.
Hey, and I can understand that vein, meaning that I once walked those steps. You know what I'm saying? Because my learning journey, I can speak from experience. And from my experience, I remember when I started getting deep into reading, I wanted to, I initially I started with a Bible. Now I'm not going to. Initially, my dad had me studying some stuff. I broke away from that when he passed. And once I started becoming a man, I restarted with the Bible. And so, as things that I was learning in the Bible, I wanted to share with people, and so I went out and I spoke with people, and I was a Bible thumper, you know, and so I understand how one can gain some information and then profess it and promote it, and not fully understand it, because I didn't fully understand it initially, and I could have persuaded some people down the wrong path. And so we have to be aware that when we gain information, often we want to share it, because you learn something. It's like getting some new Jordans. You want to rock them. You want to rock them, B. You know what I'm saying? So often we have to be careful of when we share this information, because you could lead somebody down the wrong path. And I will show you the connection here linguistically. Most people get the term Satan. The term Satan derived from the Arabic term shaitan. So often many don't understand the transition of languages. Just like we use a Arabic numeral system, you have to go back and learn some Arabic to learn some similarities from the words that we speak, and even from the culture that's promoted here in America. So the term Satan originates from the Aramaic term shaitan, which means one who lures another into an evil or wrong act. So often we have to be aware of, when we take upon something, you don't want to be that shaitan. You don't want to be that quote unquote Satan. That you are leading someone else down a path that you are unaware of or unsure of yourself. So, like I say, often when we learn something, I myself understand how you can get in that vein and you're anxious to speak and tell people, but just be wary of what you are telling people. You can't talk about something if you don't fully know. If you are a learner, stay a student.
And I agree. How you got to stay a student, and you got to have somebody that you can ask questions to give you answers. Because trust me, when I broke away, I was that firecracker, boom, 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 boom. But then at the same time, I had to. It was some stuff I was not knowing. I just got some information and I ran with it, and I had to humble myself because I wasn't learning for myself. I was just hearing somebody else tell me, feed me some information, and then just and went out there terrorizing Christians. Trust me, I was terrorizing Christians. But at the same time, I mean, I had people like Jerome that I would call, and another brother Marvin that has been on our podcast is another brother that I talked to that kind of had to humble me down and be like, dude, you ain't got to be like that. This is just the way you are. The person that you are. Just keep soaking in knowledge. Soak in knowledge. You ain't got to go out there and come at everybody's neck, because that's what I fucking say. That's what white supremacy want us to do. They want us to tear down each other. So I respect other black cultures in America. And when I say cultures, I can say, the Nation of Islam. I can say the 5%ers. Now, I'm not saying that they are cultures, but I mean, from my opinion, and also, the Moorish nation of America. You cannot. They held us down. They held us down during the early 1900s. So you can't knock it. I'm not saying we're not followers. We all spiritual here. We not into religion. Trust me, you don't want to get us on religion because we probably will be talking about this till tomorrow. Because some of the stuff that we do, we grew up Baptist. I mean, come on now, we from the Carolinas. We Baptist, but we broke away from it and got more knowledge and more understanding of who we are. We're spiritual, so you have to understand self and understand who you are and what you're connected to, because you're connected to the universe, no matter what. But you just if you got your mindset, you give your powers, you give you're giving yourself to somebody else, to another deity or to another idol. What's up, Tut?
Yeah, I do want to reiterate on something here though, that I think is some pertinent information that people should be aware of. For example, if you are a Muslim, when you decide to become a Muslim, you encounter information and knowledge that the average person who is not a Muslim is going to gain. If you become a Mason, if you're accepted into that fold, you are going to learn stuff about Masons and Masonry that originally the average person is not going to know. If you're a 5%er, so forth and so on. So each coach, what's happening, coach?
Coach, we building. Coach, I'm
Right.
gonna tell you now, we building, coach. We ain't shooting shots at nobody.
Right. So,
No,
but let me think. Each school of thought possesses a certain pertinent piece of information or knowledge that is sacred to that organization. And so therefore you can't gain that information until you join or are a part of that organization. And so often you can't speak on an organization unless you were a part of it, or you still are a part of it, or you was a part of it. You know what I mean? So often you have to be able to understand the various schools of thought and understand that if you are not from them, you cannot tell somebody who is from them how they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be and what their organization is.
What's up, Coach?
What's good with you? Y'all doing all right tonight?
yeah, we got a little bit of fire on us, and
Man, I heard something about the Moors held us down, and I was breaking my stuff trying to get on him. I'm like, blue, 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 about to break everything. Get on. I said, man, what this man is talking about? What is he talking about?
Who?
You.
Evidently, you didn't hear what I was saying.
Yeah, I heard some of it. I heard enough.
Say it again.
About broke everything trying to get on.
No,
just no.
It was a little bit something that happened a little bit earlier, but no, I'm saying what I mean is when I say they held us down, you got to understand all that's coming out of New York. That is New York. What do you get your head screwed up on?
New York. You know, when you start talking about that Muslim,
Moorish America,
you talking about Chicago, baby.
All right, my bad, Chicago.
It was
I want to talk about Chicago.
Hey, the Muslim chapters, and see, wait a minute now. That's what it also is. A lot of people have a lack of understanding of the Muslim movement in America unless you were in an area that had that Muslim movement, or unless you were a part of that Muslim movement, then you don't understand the severity and the impact that Muslim movement had here in America.
That's right.
Now, the Nation of Islam, those brothers, I respect to the fullest, because they have an organization and a structure that they have built.
They just like gangs. They kill our own. They go in people's house. They shoot our own. I got shot right in front of them, man. Fuck NOI, man.
Let me finish, coach.
I got beef with the whole NOI, nigga. Fuck.
Okay, I understand
My bad.
that. I
Go ahead. I'm
understand
sorry.
that. And me for one, being God body, if you know the history of the 5%ers, I for
Right,
one
5%.
and share that anger. But I am saying that I understand the sacrifices and the steps that were valuable into making who I am, making who you are, making who we are as a people here in America. So there were vital things that were done and still are happening to this day that is enabling us to reach a height of intelligence, that is enabling us to reach a height of stature. So we need a nation of Islam. Wait a minute now. We need them to come in and bring in a certain piece of structure and intelligence, and because they have a piece into creating who we are as a people. You know what I'm saying? Now, they may have taken, and this is what they suffered a lot of stuff from. They may have taken some information that they have to share and misused it. And they didn't want to follow some traditions which were given to them, and they didn't follow those. And so that's what got them in such a mixture, and the calamities that came about with those and those emotions which were in you.
Where did Honorable Elijah Muhammad get his information from?
Now, I'm not a Muslim.
You ain't gotta be a Muslim.
Master God, what's his name?
Supposedly Elijah Muhammad. Now, from my understanding, now I can teach you from my knowledge as a 5%er, in which the 5% nation did work was once attributed with the Muslim nation. Now, from my understanding, Elijah Muhammad was taught by Master Fard Muhammad.
Yeah, Fard Muhammad.
Where?
Supposedly in New York and Chicago and out in LA. Supposedly.
What about in prison?
Supposedly he came to America twice in 1910 and 1913. He supposedly came twice. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, Coach. What you got about people in prison, man?
Nothing. But the point I'm trying to make is when the brother got the information from prison, he comes out and run it like it's the holy, he put it together, he put it down, he forms them a little nation together. And then what? They silence the truth. The truth, anybody with the truth, they silence them to keep their agenda going. I got shot right there on 52nd Street on goddamn Cottage Grove in front of some motherfuckers selling some bean pies and some motherfucking goddamn newspapers. I was young as hell. I was 15 years old. And them motherfuckers sit right there and watch me.
Didn't do nothing.
I'm laying there.
Now.
I don't give a damn. I was a child.
Nah,
grown ass men over there.
This is some of the illiteracy that is attributed with the Islamic way of thinking.
I wouldn't care if you was a Christian, a Buddha. If you were a child, I'm about to go help you. That's common sense.
But hold up, Coach. But you gotta understand this. Again, we talking about being open-minded.
Right.
That's why I said no. I can't.
Muslims look out for Muslims. If you're not a Muslim,
okay, I can buy that. So is that a form of division, King Tut? I don't want to get into the semantics of it, but isn't that a form of division? More Israelites, Christianity, Baptist, Pentecostal.
Yes, they are all Abrahamic. Those are all Abrahamic religion. And
you said Ham?
Listen,
hold up, Coach.
Be open-minded. Be open-minded. Ham, hot ass mess.
Coach, hold up.
Whole program now.
Let's build, man.
But listen, this is what I'm trying to say, because he's gonna break down everything we get into. Ted ain't gonna let nobody talk. Listen.
What?
We need to be open-minded, right? So at the end of the day, whatever your religion is, you gotta learn how to keep that shit at home. You know what I'm saying? In your house. When you leave the house, we are people. You get what I'm saying? I don't care what you banging. I don't care who you love or who you believe in. If you hurt, we gotta help each other. Somebody pulled over, flat tire, we gotta help each other. See somebody in danger, see a lady. These are just common principles that we all should have for each other,
And
no matter what.
And we don't, because who taught us how to be the way that we are?
That's what need to be taught.
Now, Coach, you make an important point, and this is what Malcolm X had reference to when he started his Black nationalist movement. Is when he was like, everybody that's come out and let's unite on this Black nationalist front. You leave your God at home, or you leave your God or whatever you worship at home. Now, I totally agree with that sentiment, but when we have to be open-minded, we have to understand certain traditions that certain cultures and people have, and trying to tie ourselves to those cultures is an error on our behalf.
Right.
And so I agree with you in coming out and uniting on a nationalist front of commonality. And so we have to establish a common ground.
I got you.
And in establishing that common ground, people's beliefs will cause their thinking to be a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? And
do you know the root word of belief?
Root of belief is taking some information from someone and taking it as true.
The root word of belief is lie. L-I-E.
True indeed. True indeed. So I mean, and that's the point.
How do we get folks open-minded to leave what they've been taught on all their life? How do we get them to become open-minded to even start to listen that what they're believing is a front?
Okay, all right, Coach. Hold up, Coach.
I'm just trying to get to the subject. I said open-minded.
We trying to get to that damn point, dude. What the fuck? That's what we trying to do.
Go ahead,
because you heard me say something and you didn't understand why I was saying what I was saying.
Right.
I'm saying they was what they did as for people at that time, because they do create discipline. I'm not saying that we should be that. I'm saying that you have to understand some stuff you have to shake away, because that's what you was being raised in. It's the environment that you were raised in. Sometimes we have to understand that I was raised in a Christian environment.
Right.
And it was like anything else other than that was taboo, or it was the devil. And it's kind of like, what? So some things that you have to grow out of. So when you get to a certain age, it's on you. But at the same time, are we doing our kids a favor by putting them in certain things, or put them in certain things like religion, or we allowing the school system to teach our kids, and it's not? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Hey, Big.
Yeah.
Yeah. What when you said it's on them, now I got just a little bit of problem
to a certain age. To a certain age. Can I say a certain age?
I'm saying
that's though. You trying to,
but I'm saying that's the point of indoctrination.
Yeah.
You indoctrinate to keep people on a certain path forever. So I mean, until they get better information, until they get the ability to want to see something different, they're gonna stay on that path. Now I'm hearing you about, like, when you said the Moors or whatever religious piece that people use. Yeah, it's good. Other than the dogma, other than the brainwashing, other than all that stuff, the structural stuff. If it gives you some type of morality, if it gives you a moral compass, that part may be good. But yeah.
What? You got tongue tied?
Yeah, he got
tongue tied.
No. I was gonna go another direction, but we'll get it as we go. Go ahead, Ted.
One thing I do want to say, as we are speaking about ways of learning, first and foremost, when you are wanting to be open-minded, when you're wanting to be open-minded and you're wanting to try to get out of the convenient ways that you're used to, one of the main things that you have to take out of the equation is emotion. You have to take emotion out of the equation. You have to take emotion out because often what you've been taught is going to stir emotion. What you've experienced is going to stir that emotion, and that emotion can guide your logic and often cause you to place information in a category in which it shouldn't be in. And so being open-minded, one has to abolish their emotion.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, Tech, because we wear our emotions on our sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Well, if somebody just look at you the wrong way, you can look at somebody and tell if they feel a certain type of way. I'm just saying how serious that is, what you just said. That emotions is tough. Because I watch it all the time, just working and watching people bump into somebody else and how their whole era would just change. And just like that, their emotions then got the best of them. So that's a tough one right there. If you figure out a way to combat and knock off people's emotions, boy, you're a bad boy.
And that's another thing, man. That's why I was saying some of these religious group would bring discipline to that. I'm not saying follow, but I'm saying it can help you channel who you are.
Nah, can help bring it. Can help mash that brain. That's what it's gonna do. It's taking you away from your natural sense. Go ahead, Jamon.
Hey B, I got you. You know, you don't have to keep explaining to Coach. I
don't know why I keep explaining to this dude, man.
But you know, Tuff brings up a really strong piece. You know, maybe the most important piece is because the whole part of indoctrination is to invoke some type of feeling. That's why when you're in church, they play the music. Church, they make you shout, you know, because it invokes emotion. And when that information is tied to emotion, now when I try to tell you something without emotion, you can't feel it.
You can't.
You know, maybe I need a beat. Maybe I need to carry a drum player with me when I'm speaking. But you know, you're not gonna. It's everything is tied to emotion. So your thought is tied to it. So we have to untie emotion and just get to the thought. Why was
keep the emotion out of it, Coach?
Right.
No, this ain't got nothing to do with me. Hold on, Tech. Let me get one in on the emotion. The reason being emotion is so important to us is because you connect emotions to memory. Most of the times when you remember something very well, it was either something good that happened or something really, really bad that happened. So that creates that sense of trauma or sense of happiness will create a memory that will stick with you forever. Now, those emotions right there that Jerome is talking about, when people get those emotions in, it's hard to break. It's almost impossible to break those emotions.
Because it's a trend.
If I'm a Christian and I have a car wreck and a truck come take the whole front end of my car off and I'm still alive, now I got an emotional trauma and I'm gonna say, who? Jesus just saved me. It ain't nothing that none of you Negroes can say that Jesus saved me. It's nothing you can say.
Right, that's true.
Now that emotion that they just had from that wreck, and you trying to tell them Jesus ain't real, you about to be barking up the wrong tree, my brother.
Exactly.
Dude, that's another subject. And
now let me speak on that. Emotions. Now, emotions can easily be attributed to energies. Now, let's understand energies. Now, we look at the word fetish. When you research the word fetish, the etymology of the word fetish stems from the Portuguese word of fetico. And fetico means a magic charm. So a fetish, one is often lured from their emotion or their lustful situation. One is often lured like a magic charm. So people are played by their emotions. And so often, so that's how people say your energy can be stolen, or your energy can be dictated, or your energy can be channeled. It's because they can take those emotions, they can take the knowledge of understanding how that emotion, that chemical sensor to the brain, how it can make your body react without you even thinking. And so this is one who understands the mind and how the body works more than you. And so you are manipulated by it from your lack of knowledge of it. And so if you allow your fetico or your magic charm to keep you from learning how to stabilize information and stabilize yourself so that you're not being lured, so that you can have something to stand on. And if you built with some of the brothers, they say we're standing on our square, because you have to have a firm foundation of yourself. And when you have a firm foundation of yourself, you're not easily led astray. You know what I mean?
Angers you, controls you.
Hold on, let Drone get in. Drone, get in, Drone.
No. I'm with you. What you're saying, because understanding how the brain works. That's why psychology, plays a part in anything that controls you. When the brain sees a problem, it wants to create a circle that closes, that completes what was wrong to what's going on. So when you're talking about these incidents that happen to you in life, but you have no answer for it, somebody gives you an answer. They said it was God, or it was this. It was your guardian angel. It completes that circle. And when your circle is complete, it's hard to break that circle. It's like, I have my answer. This happened because of this. And that's as far as you need to go. And that's as far as that loop that happens in your mind goes. And it's almost impossible to break.
Mm-hmm.
Can I jump in?
Be open minded.
I agree.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
All right. So what we talking about when you say emotion, basically that's your ego protecting you. That's protecting your subconscious. That ego is protecting you from anything. So a lot of times we train our ego to protect us from certain dangers or certain things. When we get emotional, that's you. That you notice when you get emotional, that means you're out of your character. That's you're outside of being who you are. That means you allow somebody to allow somebody to take you out of who you're square. And that's something that we have to learn how to control as a people. Stop allowing these other people just control us and what we do. I mean, I'm trying not to be out there like crazy, but that's a problem that we have to learn. But who's teaching us to be that way? Nobody. Because what happened is if you got somebody riding on their emotions, you control everything they do. Because all you have to do is tap into an emotion and boom, they come into it and they basically in a trance.
So you saying Democrats and Negroes? Is that?
God, damn, we back on this shit again.
I'm saying you just said exactly the whole thing. You just said the whole thing. He who controls you, right? The Democrats, they throw this little scary shit at you. Coronavirus, wear a mask. Niggas like, oh, vote for Biden. Biden.
Yo,
niggas scared to death. To
all our followers, Coach don't like Biden.
Hell no.
And Democrats.
They need to flip him. Don't get me started. I don't like Biden, dude. You know it.
I know.
Hey,
I just have to explain to people.
Emotions.
Okay, now, Coach, in order to satiate that hunger, you have to eat bottom up. It's an excellent opportunity to give people a way of being open-minded. So
instead of just bashing them, because they're gonna be like, this dude just bashing.
No. So therefore, we're definitely expressing how in order to help people and gain and give information and get them to absorb it. Father Allah, one thing he always would say was, you got to come to the people as the people.
Right.
And the meaning of that is, in order to associate with someone, or in order to make someone associate with you or appeal, you have to be able to understand what their likes and dislikes are. So if you want to help someone learn and educate them, you're not going to be able to get them on your team or get them to teach. You're not going to channel their learning energy by speaking about dislikes.
I know
what I'm saying?
I know it. But see, I did exactly what you said, Tech. I took it the professional route. You know what I'm saying? I've been nice with niggas. You know what I'm saying? Now Biden is in, and I'm in my emotions, just like what we be talking about. And when people talk about oh, this is a great president, I'll be like, what? I'll be ready to go AWOL because it's just like no one's paid attention. You know what I'm saying? To what's really going on. And all they heard was a loudmouth Trump in office. That's all they heard.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Well, see, now that perspective, this gives an opportunity for one to learn how to be open-minded about Biden. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, sharing information about Biden can help show and prove who he is. So it can take you out of the picture to where you're only letting the man's actions and words speak for themselves.
Right.
And so in that vein, one person may have to learn to understand which team they're on and how you're going to suffer. And so you can only warn a person that they're about to be hit in the head.
Right.
You can only be a plain warner. If you get over emotional on trying to warn someone,
they're gonna say I'm crazy.
Yourself.
Right.
You know
You're right.
So that's energy that you wasted.
You're right.
On something that's more than likely, guess what, you already know. It's useless.
Yeah. You're right. But they got us in over fear and emotions. That's the only reason why we vote Democrat in the first place. You niggas tired
of me. Hell, we get political on this shit.
Hey man, I always get political. I'm talking politics for the next 4 years. I don't give a. We talking this shit.
I keep trying to bring it back.
Coach, let's do.
We will leave the. Look, this is what's important.
No. See now, Coach. See now, we're speaking to a community of people, and what we want to do. We're not trying to drive a political agenda.
Yeah, I know it. I was just using it for what we was talking about, to be honest with you.
That was a huge example that you tried.
If there is a political agenda we're driving, it's our own party. You know what I'm saying? So
you're right.
We're trying to divulge information to help people educate how to navigate in a system that is not designed for their benefit.
Hey, you reading the comments wrong?
Y'all think that was too big though? If I was just saying for me,
no. I know what you're saying, dude. I understand exactly what you're saying.
I'll give everybody a big picture to like, whoa, that's deep. You know,
but at the same time though, because we disagree, don't mean that, you know, when it comes to emotion, you know when somebody's emotional, because either it's kind of like you stomped on their toes, or you how Jerome said, you just scratched up my brand new Jordans.
Right.
When you talk about me. No, when it's, I mean, a disagreement is a disagreement. Right. And that's something that we have to understand, that, you know, we're not going to always agree on anybody's. Hell, we don't always agree on what we talk about, but at the same time, we understand where I'm open-minded to listen to what they're saying. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to believe in it, but at the same time, I'm letting you get your words out so I can be like, okay, I can understand where you're coming from, but that ain't the route I'm going. So, I mean, when it comes to belief system, what belief system should we be following? Or should you just be following your inner self and stop following man telling you what you need to be? That's the problem, because we keep listening to other people tell us who we need to be. All right, let me step on let me get on my thing. Let me get on my block, because that's the problem. We are being led by what put us in the position that we in now. And the minute that we want to break away from it, people target you as you're the devil, or you listening to satanic stuff, which is crazy.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
True.
Or you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, wait a minute, why can't I just be who I want to be? Who can I not grow into where I need to grow into? We as black people will stop other black people from growing. We're crabs in a barrel. But that's something that we learn. That's a learned behavior. That's not a behavior that we just happen to just, that ain't what we be. Because if you study our history, we're loving kindness and spiritual people. That's what we are. The religions has happened to take over that and control us.
Intellectual too.
Huh?
Intellectual too.
There it is. All right, I'm done.
Nah, you make a good point. And my thing is, with the agreement, disagreement, you don't have to agree, or you don't have to believe anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to believe me.
That's
Do
why we
your
put
own
the
research
disclaimer out there.
and find out and know for yourself. There's a difference between believing and knowing. If I asked you, do you believe that you're a man? You don't have to believe if you're a man. You should know. That's something that that's a fact for you, not something that you have to have a belief in. But as far as how is emotions tied to what you believe, you have to stand behind something. You have to emotionally be connected to something that you believe. You don't have to be emotionally connected to something that you know, because it's a fact. Whether you believe it or not, it's a fact. It'll be a fact today, it'll be a fact tomorrow. So, the biggest thing that I found out about knowledge, and the greatest piece of knowledge that I ever found out, is that I didn't know anything.
And the earth is flat.
That's the absolute most powerful piece of knowledge that I ever found out in my life. So, do your research. Like I always say, don't believe anything that I tell you. Because I'm subject to find out poor information. That I have to come back and correct for myself. Don't get emotionally tied, because it doesn't make you who you are. The information that you find out doesn't make you who you are. The information that you've been taught since you've been a child doesn't make you who you are. You have that power to guide your own future.
And at the same time, it stops you from learning you, because you're putting your energy. You got to understand, your energy is important. Your energy is, you can either brighten somebody's day, or you can literally tear down somebody's day
easily too,
just by the way you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get inspired when my brother's on. I be like, tired. I'll be wanting to do this podcast, man. The minute I hear a phone call, what Jerome do? You just call me, be like, Brian, we coming on? Man, I don't feel like being on. Come on, B. Boom. And we on it. What? I got my inspiration. I got my energy, because what happened? Because I'm joining forces with a bunch of brothers that that are like-minded, or we bonding. That's the problem. We want to fight one another. We ain't bonding. That's the problem with us as a people, man. And that's the problem is we not knocking people. If Christianity got you where you need to be, fine, good. All right, got it. If Islam is where you got you where you need to be, okay, fine, good. Power to the people. But at the same time, understanding this, what's your limits? Are they limiting you from being who you truly need to be? You know what I'm saying? The questions that you won't ask is because there's a lot of questions within those type of religions that's stopping you from being your true self. Anybody else want to jump into that? My bad. Damn, everybody froze up.
Everybody got.
Oh, I was too deep. Oh, damn, I got deep on y'all.
Babe, but a lot of people say, hey, I felt when I was at church Sunday, I feel him. That's how I know he real. I feel him. And then you know what I tell them? We all made up of energy. So if I take 50 people and put them together and have them singing one song or humming a hymn, they all gonna feel something. That energy is gonna go across the room. Just like if I got 50 dudes standing on the corner talking about we about to kick your behind, guess what? They're gonna feel that energy of 50 people. So that's what they're feeling, the energy from the people that's there with them.
It's like gangs. What gangs do? When they come together, they on one page, and when they go at it.
That's the energy that they putting out.
So we have to understand we have to control and that's why you have to learn thyself. You got to understand who you are. You got to understand what makes you tick. You got to understand what ticks you off too. And that's
Hey,
something that you have to. That's where the discipline within self you got to understand is. I got to work on that, so nobody will have that control, that mind control over me, and that's
now,
something that we
hey,
don't
now,
do.
what I do want to say is, when you get into this realm, you are getting into a realm of knowledge that is sacred on many levels, and so it's not promoted mainstream. You know, so a lot of people, you've heard the saying, "It ain't where you from, it's where you at."
Hmm.
So often we speak about knowing yourself. You also have to be aware and know who you are around. Because often, if you're around someone, for example, let's say you're talking about how ugly somebody is to another person. And I'm just making an example, B. Let's say you're talking about how ugly someone is to another person. You don't really know this person who you're talking to, or you don't even really know the ugly person who you're talking about. But just because you're talking, you're putting yourself in a situation unbeknownst to you because you don't know who you're around. So you could be talking and calling the ugly person, talking about them being ugly to their cousin or to their brother or to their Christian affiliate or to their Muslim affiliate. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. So it ain't where you from, it's where you at. So often it is deep to know thyself, but you better know who the fuck around you too.
I think that we just threw that out the equation, the know thyself part. I don't even, and when I hear that,
Understand it.
I'll be like, boy, y'all playing. Ain't nobody trying to find out who they are for real, for real. We
Well,
play.
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I'm just saying, this is a joke.
No, it ain't. That is a joke, coach.
Ain't nobody trying to find out who they are. They
And
trying to
that's the problem, coach.
everybody trying to get that bag right now. I need that bag. That's
How
all
long
they
that bag gonna be there, bro?
want that bag. A bag ain't gonna do nothing when you dead. You
That
want that
bag ain't gonna
bag.
be no good when it ain't worth nothing.
You
Nah,
want
the
that bag.
bag ain't no good if you don't know what to do with the bag. You might as well put the motherfucking bag over your head if you can't use what's in it.
I need the bag. I need the bag. I need the bag.
Look, everybody want money. Everybody want money, and they don't really know what to do with money. How many people do you think have acquired millions of dollars and went broke? You know, so you can lust for money, but if you don't have the intelligence on what to do with the money, that fucking money ain't nothing but hot air.
Melissa said that bag is disposable.
That's what I'm saying.
And
You chasing
Oseo,
something. In other words, you chasing another god.
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
basically it.
Exactly.
Look like
Exactly.
that's what I see when I see all these new job companies promoting their jobs and stuff. It's just like another form of slavery. Oh, we got a new slave plantation just popped up right down the street, bro. Y'all gonna go down there and check that thing out, what? I
But
ain't
you gotta
going up there.
survive though. You just gotta understand what you're surviving for.
Hey man, we can survive. Look, every time things get bad, that's when we are at our best. Remember that.
Facts. Go ahead, Jerome. You're being too quiet. I don't like this.
No, I'm just trying. I'm trying to read and keep up. Um, I ain't got nothing to say about the bag. You know what? what people chase is what they chase. Um, money is an entity. You know that you have to know how to use. You know, just like everything else in this world. Everything has a power to it. Everything has an energy to it. Everything has a frequency to it.
Ooh,
I
frequency.
think
Boy, you hit
I
that big
think
one right there.
I think a lot of times when we have discussions about thought, what we believe and what we know, I think people um, take it as that you taking one side and they have to take another, and that's not the case. You know, what you believe is what you believe, and that's fine. I ain't got no problem with it. Because I believed a lot of things throughout my life, you know, until I looked at other things, you know, and then, you know, built upon it, you know. So what you believe, I have no problem with what somebody wants to believe or what they learned as a child. That's called a knowledge base. But once you have a knowledge base, you know, you have to build upon it, and it can't be from the same source all the time. You have to vary how you see things. You know, when we were talking about the Masons, you know, they always talk about the 30-30 degree, right? Or these this 30-30 degree. But you know, life, if you are complete, you have to see it in 360 degrees. You know, you have to see the full circle. You know, it has to be all the way around, you know, to see it. So you have to take one point of view, which is your point of view, and you got to look at it from the perspective of everything around it. That's what makes it or brings it into clarity, is when you look at everything around the point that you're trying to make.
Facts. So again, y'all, we're not attacking and we're not trying to tell people to break away from their belief system. If that's what
No.
works for you, okay. We just tell you to be open minded and understand there's more things out there than what you just know. You don't know everything. You can't. It's hard to absorb the world with a limited view. It's kind of like you need glasses to see farther. Well, I know I do. I don't know how y'all might do, but you just have to understand it's more to life than what you think it is. We don't know all the answers. So when you sitting there scratching your head trying to figure something out, that's why you have to search within self.
Hey, now let me clarify something. Now, individually, we may not have the answer, but collectively, there's nothing unknown.
True. I just don't like it that I gotta let somebody depend on somebody to tell me what's true and what's not true, and I have to be led by somebody else's opinion. Again, you led by somebody else's opinion. That's why you have to search and read for yourself and get your own understanding. That's why we're trying to tell everybody is to go search and find your own understanding of what life is. You can't go by just listening to somebody tell you something, dude. You be so lost, and then again, you're indoctrinated.
Like y'all told me, we all indoctrinated.
Okay, you
You've
go.
been indoctrinated too, coach.
I said, that's what I said. I said, like we just said, we all are indoctrinated some shape or form.
Have been
No,
indoctrinated.
but I'm just saying that we trying to find ways to. I mean, we're just trying to put it out there, y'all. We broke away from. It's kind of like watching the Matrix. Basically, that's what it is. Either you break away from the main source, and then you on your own. But then what happened is you'll find other people that broke away too. And then what happened? You start building knowledge because I can get knowledge from Tut. I can get knowledge from Jerome. I can get knowledge from Coach, especially when Coach be hitting me up with this indigenous. That's why we like Coach, because Coach is bringing some real stuff. And I'm like, why is this dude so stuck on this? But I'm like, that's what he into. That's what he into.
Hey, it works. It works for me.
You know what I'm saying? So,
And also, we dealing with facts. We ain't dealing with no goddamn make believe. We dealing with who my people are. You can't make that shit up, buddy.
Right.
So when people keep talking about especially when it's slavery, all right, for instance, it's Black History Month. We don't do Black History Month because every month is Black History.
We don't do Black history because we ain't black. I just thought I'd lay that on you.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I got a question. Oh, he came out. Am I saying the church is the Matrix? Yeah.
Let me explain that. Let me explain it. Now, the church can be compared to the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And that comparison would be in that the Matrix is a form of thought that one is in, that he has to get Neo or Morpheus or anybody else in that movie. They had to get themselves out of that mental thing that they were tied to. Now, you can attribute the Matrix to Christianity in being that if you untie yourself from the matrix of learning of Christianity, Then you can get on the Nebuchadnezzar, hence, hence Nebuchadnezzar, and maybe go into some Judaism. You know what I'm saying? And once you get into some Judaism, then you can get into and see some Islam. Then you get into some Islam. You can learn about some African spirituality. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to piece numerous cultures and pieces of information together. And so you can't just go off of one school of thought and think that that's everything. So when you want to take the blue pill, that's disattaching yourself from that matrix or Christian or whichever matrix you're going to apply that thought that you're tied to. The Christian matrix, the Muslim matrix, the Judaism matrix, the Hebrew matrix, whichever matrix you want to tie yourself to. You take the blue pill, that means that you are going to dig deeper to research what you call yourself even standing on. So often, that's what a lot of people don't do. So if a person says I'm a Christian, they don't fully understand the Christianity that they're standing on. You know what I'm saying? Most Muslims, I'm not going to say all, most Muslims, they understand the pillars of Islam that they stand on. You know what I'm saying? Most Hebrew Israelites, the ones I've met, they pretty much stand on their Judaism, their Torah or their Pentecost. You know what
They
I'm saying?
treat our women like trash. They disrespectful to our women, and I smash on them any times I get when I see them talking crazy. Them some crazy, ignorant fools. They need to let that shit go, take off their Power Ranger costumes, and take their ass home. They need some milk. They need something. They need to go somewhere.
Well, see, Coach, you can't let your emotions.
Hey man,
Your
I'm just giving you
emotions,
some
Coach.
facts here. Hey man.
Yeah, you can't let your emotions override you.
Okay, look, I got something right here for you.
Oh hell, we getting ready to go. We
what
getting
you
ready to pull it up. You better not
right
do
here.
Google. You better not be getting off of Google.
Hey man, look, man, this is facts right here.
Now, when you get something off Google, what is it supported? Who wrote it? Cite your source of information.
I just wanted to touch one little thing of what he was talking about the Christianity. Okay, the brother wanted to know, say, but is it the Matrix? So what I brought up here was Andrew Jackson's speech to Congress on Indian Removal Act, which he was moving to Negroes. If you did not move, you was reclassified to Negro, black, or color. But anyway, to break this down and reach my point, what I'm trying to reach and go is what they was doing was, if you wasn't a Christian, they look at you as a savage. So the only way that a Negro or AKA Indian, AKA Negro, could be civilized is if he became a Christian. That's the only way that the colonizers looked at you as civil. So that's the beginning of the Matrix for us as a people here on American land. That's all I got. I ain't got nothing else. So when y'all get a chance, I'll read the Andrew Jackson speech, and he'll put emphasis on how much they wanted us to be Christians.
Right. And so that school of thought that Christians carried of being a Christian or savage, that was their influence that they got from Islam. Because in Islam, you was either Muslim or you was a savage. So that way of thinking, they branched from Islam. So when you want to get to the root of things, you got to walk back further. Like B was saying a little minute ago, just because you hit the 1500s, you got to go back further to the 1200s. Just because you hit the 1200s, you got to go back further to the 500s.
I was just using that as an example.
You got to go back further to BC, and then you realize that you on the Gregorian calendar that didn't even add up first before then.
Right, but what I was saying was I was using it as an example to why how they want to force a whole sum of people into believing something so they can have better control. That's all it is. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say it is the Matrix, and that would be what you call the Matrix. I was just using that for reference.
Oh, no. I understand exactly what you're saying, Coach. I ain't arguing with you. Go ahead, Jerome.
No, I mean, first, I really liked the first movie.
Yeah, the first one is deep.
Yeah.
What movie?
But I mean, Matrix, man. You know, when we compare it to that System of Control, I guess that's what we're talking about. Because Matrix doesn't mean that. Matrix is more. It's if you go back to the Hebrew of it, it's just a birthing canal. It was that's all it was. It was that what you birthed through. But when we talk about systems of control, everything's about control. If you have masses of people, you have to control them. There cannot be free thought inside of the masses. Because if you do, you know, if we all thought free, we wouldn't have a president. You know, so when you talk about freedom of thought or open thinking, I know y'all want to talk about Christianity, which is cool. We can talk about that, but when we talk about free thought, you know, everybody is controlled by something. You know, everybody is controlled by something. Now, if you want to talk about Christianity, that's fine. We can talk about Christianity, but you have to go through the history of it. When you talk about Christianity, when you talk about Judaism, when you talk about the Islamic faith, you know, these all three religions sprung from the same place, the Abrahamic religions. So, I mean, there is no difference other than practice, ritual, and dogma.
Culture.
You know, they all started from the same place. But you have to go back and study the history of it to understand it.
Now,
I mean, theologians know that. If you have your doctrine in religion, they know it.
Well, you got this Christian Hodge. He said he agreed it was forced, but does that negate its true intentions? So I have this conversation a lot all the time with people when they say, okay, it was forced on us, but it was a good forced on us. I'm like, how can you force some good on somebody? Like, you shouldn't have to force it on them if it's good. You get what I'm saying? Like, if people was willing to die because they didn't want to be slaves or whatever, and somebody comes in and say, hey, obey your earthly masters and you'll have heaven after you die. You get what I'm saying? That's a form of trickery. You get what I'm saying? And to get something done, to get something out of you, and we are falling for it. Christian codes, we learned about Christian codes in high school, and we still have not paid it no attention to. Oh, you said I'm misrepresenting. I'm saying it wrong.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now. We cannot sit here and argue with people who are Christians because, again, you're not being open-minded. Just
but I was trying to use this. What he was saying as an example. What you're saying. Like, I'm saying, like, it was forced on us, but at the same time, it's good for us. Wait a minute, what are you saying? People was dying. They didn't know. They wanted to die because they want to be slaves. And you can look at the movie Nat Turner for that little example. Well, those guys, they had them chained up there to force feed them. The guys didn't want to eat. And then they brought that over there and he started telling them the goodness of Jesus and stuff like that. And all the slaves was happy and they worked with no problem. Come on now.
No, we got to go all the way back to the Roman times and why Christianity is as big as it is now.
Come on, 325 AD, Council of Nicaea. When they came up with the whole idea that the argument was if it was going to be Jesus the Son, or was he going to be God's Father, or was he going to be this? That's what the argument was about. But there was a lot of Africans and Ethiopians and black folks in there when that was going on. But
everybody have to understand it. Where is Christianity based out of? Where is Islam based out of? It's all out of Africa. But Europeans took it and flipped it on us. So, I mean, you have to understand the history of it. And every time, arguing with a person that's a Christian, that's like beating a damn dead horse to me.
Yeah, you beating on the wall. You ain't doing nothing but beating yourself inside the wall.
Because we're not trying to tell nobody not to be Christians. Right. We're not telling people not to be religious. Like I said, if that floats your boat, but you're not opening your mind to let other things come in.
Well, see, this is what I try to explain to people. I mean to cut your wisdom, B. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I try to explain to people. is that if you are a Christian, you should be aware that your first 5 books of the Bible is from another religion.
Whoa.
First and foremost. So, and you as a Christian, you have to come to terms with that. And if you don't know that, then you're standing on something which you're unaware of. And so the Christian thought stems from Judaism or the Jewish.
Coming out the Torah.
So, the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. And so Jews had 3 sects. Sects spelled Sects. Jews had 3 sects called the Pharisees, Sadducees, and the Essenes. From those 3 Jewish sects, the Essenes migrated to an area called Qumran. And from those Essenes arose Prophet Muhammad and the rise of Islam. So Christianity, Islam, all have reference to Judaism, as if you read the Quran, you will have references to the Bible as it seeks to clarify some of the errors that Christians have made. You know what I'm saying? So being a Christian, you have to understand what you're tied to. And if you're not wanting to accept what you're tied to, then you're being blind, and that's what's called blind faith. Because you don't know what you're standing on. And then when you go to try to support your claim of Christianity, and someone from a foundation which is stronger, such as Islam or Judaism, they will break your back every time. And you will only leave with the same castigations in which Jesus gave to your Greeks, which was to wallow in a sword of swine.
Crew Cut, you say you got to bounce, man?
Yeah, I gotta go to work. They calling me. I enjoy
go ahead and handle your business, man.
I be trying not to go so hard sometime, but like y'all was just talking about, I get in my emotions and it'd be a lot going through my head, and I'd be like, let me just use this example real quick. Democrats. No, I'm just playing. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Hey man, y'all peace. All right, Jerome, Silverback, King Tech. Peace.
Peace. I don't know why people take it that we bashing, and we not trying to bash. We just I understand that we broke away from it, and we trying to enlighten people on the, if y'all want us, we can break down Christianity, and I'm guarantee you're not gonna like it if we do. You're not gonna like it because we will break down the ugly parts about it and why the world is controlled by it, how it was forced on the world. Not just on us, on the world.
And people get that misnomer. They get that misconstrued. Just because it is promoted across the globe, they take that as to mean as facts. Or take that to mean the validity of it, just because it's around the world. No, this is what was pushed and promoted around the globe to manufacture a certain mindset of subservience.
Go ahead, Drew.
I mean, I think that's it. I don't want my point to be missed. I never. What you believe is what you believe. How you live your life is how you live your life. And I don't think that people that have a certain foundation are not open-minded. But when you say not open-minded, it's having the ability to take the information in, process the information, and make changes accordingly. But I mean, I think everybody hears everybody, because I do. I certainly listen, to what I hear. But you got to understand that if you're talking about the 3 major religions, they all started from the same place. I mean, that's a theological fact. That's not guessing. That's not YouTubing. That's not Googling. You know, you can go to any theology school, and and they'll tell you this is fact. You
And they
know,
stole it, and it's also
well,
part of other.
but
That's a part of other language. I mean, other history too.
well, that's why I'm saying, it's a collection of different beliefs from that whole area, from Upper Africa, Lower Africa, Mesopotamia, um, uh, Asia. These books were put together. And I think the thing is that we miss is the time frame. We're talking about over not 2,000 years. You're talking about over 10,000 years. You're talking about over almost 20,000 years of information that was put together. You know, um, Constantine seen an opportunity to use a belief system to control a certain region. Um, I know Coach was saying, they came together and they decided this and that. They didn't really decide everything at that one gathering. There's been almost 30 gatherings since then.
Right.
Where they decided, what's going to be canon, what's not going to be canon, what's going to be taught, what's not going to be taught. So, I mean, it's a lot of history behind it. It's
That's
not
like
just.
another 200 books that's not included. But all right,
Yeah, I mean, but see, you're talking about a lot of manuscripts. We say, they were in the Bible, they wasn't in. When you canonize something, you're taking different books and making it one collection. So, I mean, of course, there's books they're gonna take in, take out if it doesn't suit the times or what they need to say at the time.
True that, true that. But again, we're trying to keep open minded. We're trying to enlighten people on certain things because people get stuck on something and they just won't let it go. And that's where you control. You part of this system. You're not gonna see nothing else. Again, you just walk. You like a horse with blinders. You just walking straight. You doing everything that they telling you to do. Now, what I'm trying to get you to understand is all that you're doing is within yourself. You can learn
Who
everything.
who you talking to?
People in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can mean one person or a group.
Just within yourself. You know how much you can learn within self. I know Coach don't like to hear that, but you know how much knowledge you can learn within yourself because you get to understand what you're connected to. You know what I'm saying? Everybody forgets what you're connected to because you want to disconnect yourself and plug yourself into something else. You know what I'm saying? Or am I wrong?
But often though, you can't get caught in your own illusion because the mind is a beautiful thing and it's a terrible thing to waste. But if the mind isn't controlled, it can get out of hand and lead one to believe something that is not correct. So therefore, that's why you have to corroborate information. That means you have to search more than one source of information to gain a complete, clear understanding, as Jerome was speaking about, of 360 degrees, of making a completion of 360 degrees. So that one point that you may look at, you got to look at it from various angles. And once you research those various angles, it gives you a clearer picture of the point. Now, one who has not partaken in other aspects or other angles of that point, then, as Brian alluded to, that's similar to a horse with blinders on, because you're only going to see one fraction of, quote unquote, the light. And when we speak of intellect, when you go into history and knowledge, there begins a terminology that creates a symbolism. And so if you don't understand the base of the symbolism in which the speech is directed, then you may never get the clear picture of what the point was drawn for. Did I make that clear?
I ain't
Yeah,
confused.
I think now B, when
Hmm.
you're talking in general, right?
Yeah, I'm talking in general. I ain't coming at nobody. I'm talking in
Okay.
general. I'm talking about
Okay.
with. That's what I'm trying to say. Is you got to understand yourself because yourself will tell you everything you need to know about you because you're connected to the universe. Period.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So when you look at the stars, you look at the moon, you look at all that, you connected to that. There's more mysteries about stuff that we don't know. We just happen to be closed minded and think that whatever is in that one particular these books has all of the answers, and it don't. It don't even scratch the surface of what knowledge is, because it make you not want to read other books because that's what it's telling you. That's all I'm saying is you gotta get into other sources and start reading other different things so you can open your
Right.
mind and understand things differently. You will happen to look at it in a different sense. You might not break away from it, but you will have a different understanding of it if you just happen to open a different book.
I think I think too when I when we talk about these different systems of learning, that those schools of thought is tut like to phrase it, you know, when you can step out of the norm and you do look, I think you can gain an even higher understanding. You can use the word God, you can use whatever word that you want. I think a lot of times when people see us, they don't think that we believe in something that's higher than us. This this greater intelligence or this greater power, however you want to see it, just because maybe we don't have the same mechanism uh, uh, to get to it or to get to that higher self or to get to that higher intelligence. Um, I think that's the point of what we're talking about is open-mindedness is seeing things for more than what they are, you know, gaining a different perspective on that what you already know.
There it is. It's just like you putting on glasses and you just happen to see 2020 with it. And being open minded is just being understanding. I mean, you got a library of books. You got a library of books, do you not, Tut? I got a library of books, and I guarantee you, is of a different, it's a multiple of different things that I study. That's the
Right.
point. I just don't study one thing and stay on that one thing. I study multiple things because I want to keep my mind open to other things, So when you come at me, I'm gonna be like, "You sure?"
Hey, and that's one thing. I hate to cut you off, but that's one thing that people who are curious to learn more. Uh, if someone is only referencing one book, let's say you want to learn something and they tell you to go into one book and you go into that one book after you read it or gain some information from it. If you're not if the person that you're learning from is not guiding you to another book, then often they don't fully understand that book, what they trying to explain to you anyway. So, and I'm saying that to mean that somebody can't teach you just from one book. So if somebody wanted to teach you true Christianity, they can't just teach you that just from the Bible. And so if anybody has a point of reference being wanting to learn Christianity, if they're not telling you to research books other than the Bible, they're not really teaching you anything.
I tell you, an interesting thing too, because I think we get caught up in words so much because of the English language.
Mhm.
But like I said, if you say you follow Christianity, I mean, it'd be good to research Memphonite religion because Christianity at its core cannot be older than 2,000 years, right? Because he died 2,000 years ago, correct? So it can't be older than 2,000 years. Well, if you look at the Memphonite religion, it's about 14,000 years old. they have what they call a Shabaka stone. Now, this Shabaka stone is actually in the British Museum. It's about 8 foot tall. It's round. Um, when they transcribed the Shabaka stone, all the stories that you find in Genesis, are written on the Shabaka stone, which is 14,000 years old. All these stories of the prophecy that is to come that you see from the New Testament are on this Shabaka stone. So this Shabaka stone being 14,000 years old is telling, but you're studying something that can't be older than 2,000 years old. But you just gain perspective. I'm not saying the stories are not real, the stories are not true. I'm just telling you how it's told to you, how it's been packaged to you is different.
I mean, we got the Emerald tablets that you can get. You can go with the ancient Sumerian books.
Sumerian text, yeah.
The Sumerian text. So, and those are what, 10,000 years old?
And there's actually a book called The Bible of the Adversary.
Oh boy.
It's an intriguing read for one who wants to see some of the influences of where Christianity originated from. You know what I'm saying? So the Bible of the Adversary takes keynotes from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Trismegistus.
Boy, you don't get want to talk about Thoth. That's a lot right there. That's a lot. But I mean, but at the same time, though, we go or get the Book of Life. No, the Book of the Living Dead. And Kemet, because everybody want to say Egypt. I'm gonna say Kemet or Nubia before it became, Egypt. But, say it again.
You talking now? If you talking about the Book of the Dead?
Yeah.
Now the Book of the Dead, I just want to throw this out. That was renamed by the British. It was not the Book of the Dead. It was
book of coming forth by day.
Coming forth by day, goeth by night. So like I said, it's just you just gotta study. Just don't take everything at face value.
That's why I throw it out there and I let y'all slam dunk it.
Right.
Be around like-minded people, man. You never understand. You don't understand. Not saying other people influence you, but your energy connects because you're on the same, frequency. That vibration is crazy. So when we get on, dude, you see, we'll talk like it ain't nothing. We get on and we can just we start on one thing and then it's just whatever the vibration takes us. So I mean, understanding that is more out there in the world, in nature, or in the universe. You just got to be open minded and understand things happen for a reason. And I'm not taking it from the Bible.
Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard.
Hey, I don't even think everything happened for a reason, even in the Bible. They have abrogated it to make it say that.
I mean, you can change the words up and make it seem like whatever you want.
Right.
So, I mean, who said that's the, and basically every information we get is from one version. What was the version before that they translated it from? And nobody would never give you the answer for it because nobody knows. We just took whatever King James said and ran with it. People don't even know Thomas Jefferson had his own Bible. Right. People can do what they want to do. People can translate things to make it seem like what they want you to understand it. And that's something that we just try to get people to understand. Read and study yourself, approve. If you read it for yourself, nobody else can tell you anything different because you be like, yo, this is what I read. Not from one book. From many.
But yeah, there you go. You got to clarify that because you can't just read one source of information and jump off a limb. You know what I'm saying? A limb is supported by a tree. So,
I know where you're going with this.
That limb, recognize the root in which that limb you own. You know what I mean?
You jump off of it and realize you'd be like a Looney Tune. Be on that ground quick. So
that's what's up.
I don't feel like answering no more questions, man. I don't even know where we're going with this today. But I
Oh
appreciate
man.
y'all brothers being on today, man. I love y'all guys, man. Thank
No
y'all
doubt.
Yeah,
for
I get you.
participating. If anybody wanna, we trying to build, man. Sometimes people don't like to understand that we trying to be in a building mode. So, sometimes you have construction delays, but it ain't gonna stop us from being who we are. So we're gonna continue to keep building, keep doing what we doing. If there's any topics anybody wants to talk about that y'all want to hear us three discuss, put it in the comments. We ain't afraid to tackle anything. But I mean, understanding that we're trying to build and we're trying to enlighten people and try to push people into a positive motion. We ain't trying to be negative. And that's the problem that we need to understand is we ain't trying to be negative. We're trying to break away from negativity and try to be positive and move forward. So again, I love these brothers. Hey, we're part of the same body. We gatekeepers.
No doubt.
But go ahead, Tuck. Give your final words, man.
Uh, King Tut, man, I just want to say, man, I appreciate everybody joining in, taking time out their busy day to lend us their ear. We definitely appreciate your support. And I want to say also to everybody that you can't just look at a point from one angle. A point has many angles. So always try to look at that point from an angle other than your own.
Brother Jerome.
Oh man, it's always good to be on, having some intellectual conversation. Rarely do I speak on religion, mainly because it's your viewpoint. I can't sway your foundation. All I can tell you is just read, take more information in, um, you know, and whatever you do with it is that's that's what guides your life. Let it guide your life. You know, I think the point of building is taking our whole community, which is made up of Christians, Muslims, non-believers, new believers, uh, and going forward together. So to do that, we have to stand on fact, to go forward together because everybody has their own beliefs. So when we come together to build, that's why we just try to use just facts. And like I said, don't believe anything that we tell you. Whatever we tell you, go research it for yourself. Then let's build on that.
Facts. All right, y'all. This is the three-headed monster, y'all. Peace.
Peace.